what Jesus Christ expects of his beloved bride, the church, throughout the Bible. Jesus Christ is portrayed as the bridegroom and the church as his beloved bride. Ephesians 5:25-27, Revelation 19:7-9. His expectations for the church are deeply rooted in love, holiness, faithfulness, and mission. Below are key aspects of what Christ desires from his church. Love and devotion to him. The greatest commandment Jesus emphasized is to love the Lord with all our heart, soul, and mind. Matthew 22:37-38. The church, as his bride, is called to love him above all else. This means seeking him daily through prayer and worship, obeying his commands as a demonstration of love. John 14:15. Remaining devoted and not turning to worldly distractions. James 4:4. Holiness and purity. Jesus desires a holy and blameless bride. Ephesians 5:27. The church is called to live righteously, avoiding sin and impurity. 1 Peter 1:15-16. Be set apart from the world, reflecting God's holiness. Romans 12:2. Be cleansed by his word, renewing minds and hearts. John 17:17. Faithfulness and obedience. Just as a faithful bride remains true to her husband, the church is to be faithful to Christ. This includes holding firmly to biblical truth, avoiding false teachings, to 2 Timothy 4:3-4. Enduring persecution and trials with steadfast faith. Matthew 24:13. Remaining obedient to the Great Commission. Sharing the gospel. Matthew 28:19-20. 4. Unity and love. Among believers, Jesus prayed for the unity of his church. John 17:21. He expects his bride to love one another as he has loved us. John 13:34-35. Live in harmony, avoiding divisions and conflicts. 1 Corinthians 1:10. Serve one another humbly, bearing each other's burdens. Galatians 6:2. 5. A life of worship and prayer. The church is called to be a house of prayer. Matthew 21:13. Jesus desires his bride to worship him in spirit and truth. John 4:23-24. Pray without ceasing, interceding for others. 1 Thessalonians 5:17. Offer continual thanksgiving and praise. Philippians 4:6. 6. A passion for evangelism and discipleship. Jesus commissioned his followers to make disciples. Matthew 28:19-20. The church fulfills this by proclaiming the gospel boldly to all nations. Mark 16:15. Teaching believers to grow in faith and obedience. 2 Timothy 2:2. Living as a light in the world, reflecting Christ. Matthew 5:14-16. Readiness for his return. As the bridegroom, Jesus will return for his church. Matthew 25:13. The church must remain spiritually awake and prepared. Luke 12:35-40. Be faithful in fulfilling God's purpose until he comes. Revelation 2:10. Long for his coming, living with an eternal perspective. Titus 2:13. The return of Jesus Christ is a central teaching in Christianity, often referred to as the Blessed Hope. Titus 2:13. The Bible makes it clear that his return is imminent, meaning it could happen at any time, while no one knows the exact day or hour. Matthew 24:36. There are biblical signs, prophetic fulfillments, and theological reasons that indicate his coming is near. In conclusion, Jesus expects his church to be a loving, holy, faithful, and mission-driven bride. He desires deep intimacy, obedience, unity, and readiness for his return. The church's ultimate calling is to glorify Christ, walk in his ways, and prepare for the glorious wedding feast of the Lamb. Revelation 19:7.